everything I'm going to say as far as this video is concerned. You would definitely see it in your exam. Okay, you will definitely see it in your exam. So if you are writing JUPEB this year, this video is for you. Just pay keen attention, and I promise you that if you can watch this video to the end, you will smile while coming out from your exam hall on the day of your biology practical. So let us begin. Now, from the specimen we have here, we have from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 specimens here, and we are going to be discussing this specimen one after the other. We're going to be discussing the specimen one after the other. So the first specimen we have here is Achachatia magninata. Achachatia magninata, or giant snail. Giant snail. This is for specimen O. Now there are questions that you should be expecting. Now the first question you'll be asked is to identify specimen O. To identify specimen O. So when you are asked to identify specimen O, what it simply means is that you should name that particular specimen. So we are going to be using giant land snail. That is the answer. So when you are asked to identify specimen O, just say it is giant land snail. Okay. So now on here you will also be asked to state the classification. The classification based on their kingdom, phylum, class. So the kingdom is Animalae, the phylum is Mollusca, while the class is Gastropoda. The class is Gastropoda. Please pay attention to this, and remember, do not skip any part of this video. Yeah. Okay, so you'll be asked to state the observable features. Okay, the observable features of this specimen O. Now, one of the observable features of this specimen O is it has a hard spiral shell. It has a hard spiral shell. Now, if you look at the shape of the snail on the screen, you see that the shell is spiral in shape. Here again, we see that it possesses a muscular feet. We all know that snails possesses a muscular feet, and it has 2 pairs of tentacles. It has 2 pairs of tentacles. Okay, and also it has a soft unsegmented body. When we say that an organism has a soft unsegmented body, it means that the organism body is not divided into parts. So it is soft and unsegmented. Okay, so that is that. Now let's take a look at the adaptative features of this particular organism. Now here we say the shell helps to protect the body against external injuries. It has a mucus that reduces friction during locomotion, and then the tentacle help in sensing the environment, and also it has a muscular feet that helps it to crawl. Okay, so those are the things that you should be expecting as far as this specimen O is concerned. Again, you will be asked to state the economic importance. You'll be asked to state the economic importance. Which one of the economic importance is it is used as food. Okay, it is used as food, and it is also a source of protein. It's also a source of protein. The shells can be used as an ornamental, and also it can be processed into animal feed. Now it serves as a source of income. It serves as a source of income to farmers who rear them. So those are the economic importance of this particular organism. Now you will be asked the mode of nutrition. The mode of nutrition, they are holozoic. Okay, they are holozoic organism, which is they are in bracket you can just say they are herbivorous. They are herbivorous organism. Okay, now the next one we have here now is specimen P, which is cockroach. Specimen P, which is cockroach. Now remember, once you are asked to identify, just name the organism and go your way. The meaning of identify simply means you should write the name of that organism that you are seeing there. Okay, let's talk about the classification of this organism. Now kingdom, under kingdom we say that they are Animalae, the phylum they are arthropods, while the class they are insects. Okay, the class they are insects. Okay, so why are they called insects? Because they are the only organism that belong to the phylum of arthropods that have wings and can fly. Okay, so these are the reasons why they are called the insects. Now their body is divided into the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. They have 3 pairs of legs. Okay, they have 3 pairs of legs, and then 1 pair of antenna, 2 pairs of wings. 2 pairs of wings. Okay, which is for the adults. The adult, they have 2 pairs of wings. Okay, now the next one we are looking at now is, let's talk about the adaptative features of this particular organism, which is specimen P, which is cockroach. The adaptative features. Okay, now under the adaptative features we see that they have a strong leg for running. They have a strong leg for running. Okay, and here we say they have wings for short flights. They don't fly much. They have, without wings, it's just for a minimal flight. And their body is made up of hard exoskeleton that protects their body. hard exoskeleton that protects their body. Now, lastly, the antenna that detects food and danger. That their antenna is used to detect food and danger. Now, let's take a look at this 3 harmful effects of cockroach. 3 harmful effects of cockroach, which number 1 is contamination of food, spread of disease-causing organisms, which is their vectors, damages stored food materials. These are the things you need to know as far as that cockroach is concerned. Now, let's take a look at the benefit of cockroach. Benefit of cockroach. Number 1, it is used for scientific research. It is used for scientific research. And here we said it is used in decomposition, that is, it helps in decomposition of organic matters. I'm trying to rush this so that we will not waste time. So that is by the way. Now let's mention the mouth part. You'll be asked to mention the mouth part. Yes, you'll be asked to mention the mouth part. Very, very important. So the question now is, what is the mouth part? What kind of mouth part do they possess? Or what are their mouth parts? Now here we say they possess the labrum, the mandible, the maxilla, the labium, the hypopharynx. The hypopharynx. These are their mouth parts. Okay? That is why, remember, in the order you were asked to the school is asked to provide you with a hand lens. So that hand lens is the reason, that is, this mouth part is the reason why the hand lens is meant to be provided, so that you can be able to view it very, very well. Now the next one is scapula. Scapula, which is specimen Q, the scapula. Now, what kind of bone it is? It is called a flat bone. The scapula is a flat bone. Now, you will also be asked to state at least 4 functions. 4 functions of this scapula. Now, here we said it provides attachment for muscles articulation with the humerus. It provides attachment for muscles articulation with the humerus. So it forms part of the shoulder girdle. It forms part of the shoulder girdle. Now the next one is it protects structures around the shoulder. It protects structures around the shoulder. So that is that. Here we'll also say that name the cavity that articulates with the humerus. Name the cavity that articulates with the humerus. Now the answer is glenoid cavity. The glenoid cavity. Okay, so that is by the way. Now you will also be asked to state the vertebrate from which it was obtained. Remember, you don't know where this particular specimen is obtained from. You just saw it on the table. So you'll be asked to state the organism where this particular bone is obtained from or is extracted from. Just write mama. Just write what? Mama. So that is that. Now specimen R is pride of Barbados fruit. Pride of Barbados fruit. Now you'll be asked the type of fruit it is. Now the type of fruit it is a legume. It is a legume. Okay, so now here we say state the method of seed dispersal. State the method of seed dispersal. How is the seed dispersed? Now the seed is dispersed through what we call explosive mechanism. It is dispersed through explosive mechanism. Okay, so that is that. Now what are the adaptive features for the dispersal? Okay, what are the adaptive features? What are the things that enables it to be dispersed through this explosive mechanism? Now we say that it has a dry fruit walls. Now it has a dry fruit walls. Okay, now again they split open when ripe. Once it is ripe, it splits open, and also it has an elastic pod that contains so many seeds. So these are the reason why it is being dispersed through explosive mechanism. Now let's take a look at the economic importance of this specimen R. Now the economic importance is it is an ornamental plant. It is also used in landscaping. It provides shade, used in traditional medicine. It is used in traditional medicine. Okay, so that is by the way. So now let's go over to the next specimen, which is specimen X, known as most plants. Okay, so specimen S is known as most plant. Once you are asked to identify specimen X, just write most plants, or you just write most, anyone, but I think just write most plants. Okay, now you'll be asked to state the division to which this particular organism belong to. Now we say that they are bryophytes. They are what? Bryophytes. Now again, the observable features, possibly 4 observable features of these most plants. Now we see that they are small green plants. If you look at it, you see that they are small, has leaf-like structure, possesses rhizoid instead of a true root. Okay, it possesses rhizoid instead of a true root. Now the other question, very important, is why is it called a non-vascular plant? Why is it called a non-vascular plant? Now the reason why it is called a non-vascular plant is because it lacks xylem and phloem tissues. It lacks xylem and phloem tissue. That is why it is called a non-vascular plant. Okay, now the habitat, where is it found? It can be found in a moist, shady place. It can be found in a moist, shady place. That is where it is found. That's where it is found. Now, the mode of reproduction is through what we call spore formation. Is what we call spore formation. That is the mode of reproduction. So take note of this. Very, very important. Very, very important. Okay, so now let's look at the difference between snail and cockroach, which is specimen P and specimen Q. Difference between snail and cockroach. Now here we say snail belongs to the phylum of Mollusca, while cockroach belongs to the phylum of Arthropoda. Okay, so that is that. And here we say snail has a muscular foot, while cockroach has 3 pairs of jointed legs. So that is that. Now another one there says snail possesses a shell, while cockroach possesses an exoskeleton. Snail possesses shell, while cockroach possesses an exoskeleton. The last specimen here is mud on bread. Mud on bread. I believe so many of us have seen a mud on bread before. That thing that grows on a decaying bread or a spoiled bread. That is what we call mud. Okay, that is what we call bread mud. Okay, so that is that. That is that. Now let us take a look at the identification of this specimen, which is specimen T, mud on bread. Okay, so now the first thing you should be asking yourself, or the first thing you should be expecting, is the kingdom at which this particular specimen T belongs to. The kingdom at which this specimen T belongs to. Now what is the kingdom? The kingdom is kingdom fungi. They belong to fungi. Okay, so take note on that, please. If there is anything you don't understand as far as this specimen is concerned, or as far as this tutorial is concerned, all I want you to do is just to drop your comment in the comment section, and I promise you that as soon as I get your question, I will give you the answer accurately. And if you need any assistance as far as this exam is concerned, all you need to do is to join our Telegram group or our WhatsApp group using the link on the description of this video, or you can chat me up using the phone number on this screen, and I promise you that I will give you every assistance that you need. Okay, now let's take a look at the observable features of this particular specimen, which is bread or mud. Now if you view it using the hand lens which was provided for you, you will see that it has a cotton-like growth. It has a cotton-like growth, and it has a black sporangia. It has a black sporangia, and as well as a thread-like hypha. A thread-like hypha. So these are the physical features that you can see as far as this specimen T is concerned. Now let us take a look at the most difference between a moss plant and bread mold. Difference between moss plant and bread mold. These are the questions that they will never fail to ask you. Now here we said moss plant belongs to the kingdom of Plantae, while bread mold belongs to the kingdom of fungi. Take note of that. Most plant belongs to the kingdom of Plantae. I did not see it initially, but just have it at the back of your mind. Why bread mold belongs to the kingdom of fungi. Most plant contains chlorophyll, while bread mold does not contain any chlorophyll. Most plant is photosynthetic, while bread mold is saprophytic. Why we say they are photosynthetic is they can manufacture their food in presence of sunlight, while bread mold cannot do that. So that is that for now. So in everything that we have listed here, please try as much as possible to learn how to draw them. Drawing in biology is very, very important, and it gives you a lot of mark. Okay, and if you want to know how to draw or using a scale, I have done a tutorial on how to draw using a scale. Just go to the other videos on WAEC and NECO, just on WAEC Biology Practical. You will see the tutorial on how to draw and label using scale, because they will never fail to ask you to draw and label using a scale, where you may be asked to, using a scale of 10 centimeters to 12 centimeters, draw and label a cockroach, or draw and label a land snail, whichever one that comes out. So your ability to be able to use scale, identify the scale, measure it correctly, and draw will earn you a very high mark. So thank you very much, and God bless you.